Hey everybody, Kent Clothier here. Welcome to today's call. I'm glad you've made it. I'm excited that you're here, excited to share some cool stuff with you. I mean, I know there's a lot of people here that are new to our world, our investing world, so I'm excited to share with you some really cool new strategies and tools that you can start using immediately to find off-market properties. What are off-market properties? Properties that, quite frankly, no one else knows about. No one else even has access to. I mean, there might be a handful of people here or there, but the reality of it is on any kind of mass market scale, there's just no exposure whatsoever. And I'm going to show you a tool that is going to help you find vacant property that has massive equity in it, sometimes being owned all the way to free and clear properties. Over 2 million of them. I'm going to show you how to find over 2 million of them at the push of a button in a matter of seconds, if you will. And again, access this inventory 24/7, anytime you want. This is non-MLS, listed properties. These are the properties that no one else, as I said, knows about, and you're going to have access to it here in the next few minutes. Now, I will tell you that what I'm going to show you, I'm just going to walk you through it step by step. It's really straightforward. It's really simple. It's really easy to follow, and whether you're brand new or you're a seasoned pro, you're just going to get it. It's just going to make sense perfectly for you. And I can tell you it's so easy to understand and so revolutionary that I just want to kind of give you a lot of confidence that you're at the right place at the right time. And here's what I mean by that. We are getting approached on a regular basis, still to this very day, by some of the largest hedge funds and largest financial institutions, largest, institutional buyers out there, to basically grab this piece of software and have it for themselves. They want to buy it exclusively. They want national access, and they want to take it out of the hands of everybody else. They want to potentially just take it off the market. Now, I can tell you, when you are in the business of buying thousands, tens of thousands of properties each and every year, and you are taking the time to slow down and pick up the phone and call my office to try to figure out how to get this tool for yourself exclusively, that's a pretty good indication that the tool works and that it is something that's worth having. And you are about to have it in the next few minutes and see exactly why they are fighting over it right now. Now, you're going to see quickly also why we call it the competition killer, because this is unlike anything that your competition is doing right now. So enough of the hype and the build up here. Let's just kind of get into it. So here we go. Why are we here today? Well, here's what we're going to cover in the next few minutes. I'm going to cover the power of big data and how to use it in your business, and why the institutional investors are trying to keep it out of your hands, just like I just pointed out to you. I can tell you the game has changed, and it has changed quickly. For those of you that have been in the real estate industry for any length of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every single day it seems like the market is changing in real time. Inventory is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, almost by the day. You've got now situations where you have multiple offers, bidding wars, lotteries for offers. Prices are beginning to absolutely take off. We are now in a market where too many people are suddenly competing with each other for the exact same deals, which means it's getting harder and harder to find a quote-unquote deal by the day. Now, I can tell you the key to success is, in spite of all those things, you always create a competitive advantage for yourself. You figure out how to play the game within the game, make moves that no one else really sees coming, zig when everyone else is zagging. And here's what I mean. Competitive advantage number one, you must get to the deals first. You have to get to properties that no one else knows about. Competitive advantage number two that you should actively be trying to create out there is you must engage cash buyers right now, because at some point, real estate is cyclical. Lending is going to tighten back up. Banks are not going to want to lend. It's like they're still very, very tight at this point, but they're going to go to the place that we saw back in the Great Recession and pull all the way back. It's happened over and over and over again. So having people that are paying cash and have a strong appetite is a must in your business right now. You must get deals that no one else even sees. If you're too busy using old, outdated strategies that hardly ever worked in the first place, mailing to the FSBOs, or mailing to out-of-area owners, or absentee owners, or if you're mailing to frustrated landlords, or you're just looking in the MLS, let me just help you understand that you are a dinosaur. You may not even know it yet, but you are. You have to go get deals that no one else knows about. You have to be creative. Doesn't mean you need to go learn Google, PPC, or doesn't mean you need to go run new creative Instagram and Facebook ads. You just have to think a little different, access data that no one else has, which brings me to competitive advantage number 4. You've got to access information that no one else even knows about. You have to get to a place where information is working for you. And when you do this, I can tell you, these things tip the scales in your favor. It's all about creating the ultimate competitive advantage. So with that in mind, I can tell you that this presentation is all about, I'm going to tell you to write this down, buying your time back and fast-tracking you to success. But it is a serious business. There is no get-rich-quick here. We don't sell that. We don't believe in that. This isn't about a magic button that is suddenly going to rain money down upon you. That's not us and not what we're about. Equally, we're not about the naysayers and the non-believers. This is for the hard-working, job-creating, opportunity-seeking entrepreneurs that are fighting for that dream, that American dream. Now, I'm about to show you some serious leverage. A serious advantage for this year and many, many years to come. So how do you save massive time? How do you buy your time back and create a competitive advantage in today's real estate market? Again, the answer is big data. Write that down. It's happening each and every day all around you and growing exponentially almost on a daily basis. It's in the news everywhere, and it's being used by every Fortune 500 company to compete for your business right now. Whether that is through Facebook, or that is through Instagram, or that is through using your credit card data, or that is through following everything that you do when you are online or using your phone. Everything you do, your GPS, everything you do, every transaction, every time you engage the web, that information is being collected, and it is being used in a way to suddenly help you to transact business with companies all over the world. So what does that mean? Well, it means you gather a great deal of information. As it relates to real estate, I'm not talking about just a little bit of information. I'm talking about mountains of data, more data than you've ever consumed. If you can imagine, if you could go out today and go find every real estate transaction in the country in real time each and every day, and suddenly download all of that information and use all that information, in some cases 200 to 2,000 data points each and every day. Every transaction in the country, the property taxes, delinquent taxes, the city, the state, the value, the current mortgage, the billing address, the debt, the mobile phone number of the owner, the owner's state, the owner's zip, the routing number, the IRS liens. I mean, every single piece of information that was available on every piece of real estate. And each time that information is changing, if you had access to it, you would begin to understand the kind of data that we're talking about when I say big data, just in the real estate game. Honestly, it would take you months to create this amount of data and to just get it on servers, and you'd never see your family, I can assure you. But if you could get this data, you would then go and take that data and begin to model it. You begin to put together a model that would help you to break it down and crunch the data. I mean, crunching a lot of data, writing the algorithms, writing the programs that would suddenly help you, again, comprehend all of this data and look for the patterns that would help to tell a story. Looking for the slightest bit of information that can give you the edge, the missing link, if you will, the one loophole that no one else is seeing. And when you find that, I can tell you firsthand, it's life-changing. An entirely new world opens up. Impossible becomes real. You begin playing a brand new game. All this, by the way, while your competition is sitting around complaining, moaning, groaning, bitching about the market changes and playing catch up and telling everybody how they can't buy any deals, or there's no buyers out there, or they're having to compete with everybody else, so the prices are going up, moaning and groaning, right? Listen, the business world is a rude and cruel place. You either adapt or you die. It is that simple. So it's time for you to create that competitive advantage once and for all. You see, over the past 8 years, my family and I have arguably been some of the most successful residential real estate investors in the country. I can tell you our investment company, Memphis Invest, is considered the premier real estate investment company in the industry today. with offices in Memphis and Dallas and Houston. I can tell you that Memphis Invest and Real Estate Worldwide has now been featured for the last few years as one of the fastest growing companies at Inc. 5000 since 2012. I mean, we are a family that has had multiple companies on the Inc. 5000 over and over and over again. You don't get to that level without, again, playing a considerably different game than your competition. Our team has now bought and sold over 4,000 properties. Heck, in 2016 alone, we bought 626 properties, bought and sold. And oh, by the way, just as a food for thought, we rehabbed them as well. Bought, sold, rehabbed, and rented 626 properties. Now, I can tell you, all of our success comes from one thing: systems. You see, we seek out our biggest business challenges and solve these challenges with systems. Systems that create time savings, efficiency, and predictable results. In fact, I would argue that this is the easiest way to think about it. We treat our real estate business like a business. Ask yourself that. If you're here, and I know most of the people that have a tendency to get on a training webinar with me, you kind of fall into one of three categories. And I would tell you in the biggest category there is a lot of people that are just kind of getting started. And you're still in that hustle mode. You're still trying to figure it out. Or you might be doing a few deals, but you haven't really turned it into a business yet. And that turning it into a business is a job in and of itself. It requires completely different thinking. It requires systems, automation, processes. That's what I mean by that comment. We run all of our businesses like a business. We build those systems. We build those processes. And we do all of that to make it easier to do more business faster. We design systems to make business fun, enjoyable, and easier. That's what this is about, right? So none of us get into this to make it harder on ourselves. So if it sounds like you, then you're in the right place. All of this, again, so we can create a predictable outcome. Just like, probably the easiest description I could think of is just like a franchise. Think about why people buy Subways and McDonald's and the dry cleaners, or any number of these a million different franchises out there, the gyms and all that kind of good stuff. Why do people do that? Why do they buy in? Because of the systems, the processes, the automation. They don't have to think. They can just plug and play into something, and that allows them to scale and enjoy what they're doing. That's the same way we approach our business. So now more than ever, I can also tell you that these systems have included the analyzing of data. What I mean by that is scouring public records and hundreds of other sources for those patterns I was just referencing. I can tell you from this one thing, our team has created some of the industry's best investor tools and lead generation tools that have helped revolutionize the way investors now do business. Our students at Real Estate Worldwide now benefit from our knowledge and expertise. We do it firsthand in the field each and every day, and we turn around and bring it back. I can tell you these tools change the industry forever. What are some of those tools? Well, for those of you that don't, have a good point of reference, don't really know me and our company and our team and our family, we are the inventors of Find Cash Buyers Now. This is a tool that was invented back in 2009 and revolutionized the entire industry. Nobody had ever heard of a way to go and find all of the cash buyers in any market with a push of a button. For many of you, this one thing could change your business overnight. Suddenly you would, instead of having to hunt and peck and try to find people to buy your properties, you would just simply have a database with them right at your fingertips in real time. We did the exact same thing in 2010 with Find Private Lenders Now. Again, we searched public records to look for private lenders, people that were acting like the bank. Not people that were raising their hands or opting into some list saying, hey, yeah, I'll loan you money. These are people that we could verify and validate right in public record that they were acting like the bank, and suddenly provide our users with, here's their name, here's their address, here's how you contact them, here's the amount that they loaned, all with a few mouse clicks. 2011, we came out with Find Comps Now. It's one of the best tools for comping a property. It's completely free, and it's available to our users right now, and it basically shows you all the cash buyers and private lenders around any property in the United States in real time. 2006, we came out with 1-800-SELL-NOW. This is a vanity brand that our users use all over the country to help make their marketing just more memorable. Think about the effectiveness as if you were out there doing direct mail or running television, radio, if your phone number is 1-800-SELL-NOW. Do you need to sell a house now? Call me at 1-800-SELL-NOW. We released that, and again, it's kind of taken over the industry over the years, and we're very, very proud of that. The only thing is, we've never been able to crack the code on motivated sellers. We were never able to figure out how to use big data to actually create a situation where we could find properties that we could absolutely say to 100% certainty that that is a motivated seller. They are in a very specific situation. Well, that's changed. We were never able to do it until now. Let me introduce you to Chris Richter. Now, don't let his boyish good looks fool you. I'm here to tell you this guy's a super badass ninja wholesaler. And I don't say that lightly. This guy is the real deal. He's as good as they get. Seriously, it's a little scary how good this guy really is at this. So Chris came to my house a few months ago in La Jolla. He shared with me what he was doing in his business, and I got to tell you, I was simply amazed. The guy had done it. The one thing that we had been unable to figure out, how to find those motivated sellers through looking through records, through looking through data, through looking through 20, 30 different databases and combining them, he had done it. Yes, it. That one thing we had not yet figured out, he'd cracked the code. He'd cracked the code on how to find those hidden hot deals. He'd found that pattern that I was just referencing. The teacher was suddenly the student. He was finding those patterns. He had the magic formula, and he was able to consume that data in his market and make it work for him. He had turned the tables, and he had tipped the scales in his favor. So I want to briefly share with you how Chris stumbled upon this, and then how we've taken it to an even bigger level. Now, Chris, when I met him, had been doing this for about 9 years. Around 2008, he started working on what, we will see today. He was the guy that I was telling you again was looking in there in the signals and looking through all that noise, trying to find that one little beep, blip, if you will, of information that no one else was paying attention to. What he was doing was looking for the predominant indicator for deeply discounted properties sold by just private sellers, you and me. So what does that mean? Well, think of it like this. Sports gambling would be really easy if you had a cheat sheet that just told you the final score in advance. If you just knew the score, gambling would be kind of comical, right? See, in today's environment, it's getting harder and harder to find deals using the old ways. You have to know where to look. Guess what? I'm not talking about the MLS or the auctions or bandit signs or probate or any of that kind of stuff. The real deal is this. It's going to get much worse finding these deals over the next coming years. In fact, with so many hedge funds, so many private equity funds, and so much, inventory being consumed by new business models, whether it's Airbnb, VRBO, again, the hedge funds, doesn't really matter. Basically, there's this enormous amount of pressure that's coming on the market where when I got started in this business just a few years ago, none of that existed. It was just me as an investor, or there was a retail market. It was one or the other. Back then, we used to say it all the time. The banks don't want to own real estate. You can't say that anymore. The banks have no problem owning real estate, and in fact, they're willing to go toe-to-toe and compete with you each and every day. See, the real truth is that most of the real deals actually happen off-market. They don't go into the MLS. They don't go into any kind of big system. They happen between a small network of insiders. This off-market crisis inventory has made those that work it extremely, extremely rich. If you write anything down, I'm going to tell you to write this down as well. So we talked about big data, but look, here's the bottom line. If you're in real estate, you're in crisis real estate. All your money is going to be made by focusing on a few little areas. That is divorce, foreclosure, bad rentals, probates, death, bankruptcy, loss of job. At the end of the day, these things happen every single day. Good market, bad market, sideways market, none of it matters. Buyer's market, seller's market, none of it matters. These things are what happen every day and create highly, highly motivated people, individuals that need to sell their properties. It doesn't matter. The key is to know in advance which property is headed towards that crisis. You actually need that cheat sheet, but like we talked about before, the kickoff, if you will, telling you that the game's going to end up with a score of 31-25. So after going through tens of thousands of records, he found that cheat sheet. What he found was that almost all of them go vacant before they go into crisis. Think about it. Before anything else happens, the property goes vacant. Before liens are recorded, probate, power of attorney, code violation, out-of-state fixers, evictions, REO listings, it doesn't matter. It goes vacant. So it sits there, unwanted, abandoned, and forgotten about. And they come in all shapes and sizes, right? And this is the perfect scenario for you, because no one knows except you. I mean, it's like finding a bag of gold buried under 2 inches of dirt right there in your front yard. Without a metal detector, it'd be kind of challenging to find, but it doesn't make it any less true that it's just sitting right there. There are thousands of these properties sitting right now. The vacant inventory is huge. It's a massive opportunity, and very, very few people know anything about it. Los Angeles, 12,486 vacant properties right now. Atlanta, 5,476. What if you could find every vacant deal before anyone else? Before the realtors, before the investors, before anyone. Imagine that competitive advantage, right? I mean, it's like a game of Monopoly, no competition. You could just run the score up. That's the beauty of this. You get to name your price. Negotiation is a piece of cake. So that's exactly what this guy did. I mean, he went out and made it happen. But I can tell you, it wasn't always like that, right? He figured this out because he had to. And I'll tell you a little bit about his story. This guy had no money. He was stressed. Life was actually pretty, as many of us have gone through, it's pretty depressing. He got started in real estate just like many of us. This guy was very independent. Kids out there making things happen at a young age, had that entrepreneurial spirit, and then he went off to school. And when I tell you, you guys have heard me say this in the past, or some of you have heard me say this in the past, that the guy's a ex-NASA rocket scientist. Well, that happens to be true in this scenario. When he was 23 years old, he had 2 patents and was working with NASA and JPL as a rocket scientist. Yeah. And the guy was doing well. He was literally offered 9% of the company to stay. The job was great, but it was kind of a small problem, as a lot of startup employees figure out that you can't eat stock options, and fancy diplomas don't pay the bills. And so the guy was broke and driving around in a junk car, and he went home and bought a real estate course, just like I did many, many years ago. This guy closed the door, unplugged the phone, shut off the outside world for 4 days, and he studied and made the decision that he was going to go out there and be successful at it. And when he looked up, and in a few short weeks, he'd done his first deal. He made $8 grand and was off to the races. And as most of us do, it didn't really matter that he'd spent $18,000 in education to get there, because he was now on his way. Now, fast forward 24 months later, and for many of us that have been in the real estate business for a long time, we remember this very, very well. This scenario played out for many of us. You get going, you believe the entire business is successful, but just because of you. So you're going and you're crushing it, you're making $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month, and you are off to the races. Only problem is in 2008, the wheels fell off, and he lost everything. So the guy had to turn it all around. And he went off and became wildly obsessed. He wanted to figure out how to not get caught up in it all again, how to make good decisions, how to find properties that other investors just simply weren't seeing. So he set out to find out exactly what they're buying and from where. As he said, has told me several times, Kenneth, I lived on coffee, cereal, protein bars, and microwave popcorn. I started sleeping from 3 in the morning until 9 o'clock in the morning, not accepting calls or emails. I was sitting there working diligently to try to figure out how to make this all work. I manually crawled and read thousands of lines of county data, cutting and pasting by hand into an Excel spreadsheet every piece of information that I possibly could. This is just a little bit of the data that he sent over so I could share with you today that he was collecting by hand. Not only did the guy collect and cross-reference, he read a lot. If you can imagine sitting down and reading, this is like reading stereo instructions, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing fun about this. Code violations, deeds, liens, powers of attorney, affidavits, list pendants, releases, quitclaims, assignment of deeds. I mean, this is just nauseating to read this kind of stuff. But he was on a mission. And seek and you shall find. After countless hours of digging and analyzing, he found one characteristic. Again, they were all vacant. They were vacant before they were listed, they were vacant before probate, and they were vacant before foreclosure. And statistically speaking, it was 64% of the time, 76% of the time, 82% of the time over a 1-year period. So now it was, okay, I know vacants is where I need to be looking. So how do I find them? What do I do to actually get access to them? So if you're going to go do this on your own, I can tell you that there is, a manual way to do this. And you're just sitting there right now thinking to yourself, man, how do you go about finding vacants? Yeah, that's the big question. How do you do that? How would you go about doing it right now? And here's a few suggestions. You could absolutely go drive up and down the streets. Be looking for houses that are boarded up, that the mail's piling out of the mailbox, that the newspapers are piling up on the driveway. The grass is, 3 feet tall. That's a good indication. Driving neighborhoods that you know are strong investment neighborhoods and really looking for those properties is a good way to do it. Waiting for the garbage man. Go and talk to the garbage man. See who's leaving the cans out at the street for days on end. Is the property vacant? Has it been abandoned? Ask the mailman the same thing. Try to find out from the utility company, the insurance company. Purchase abatement list. Call the city. Again, ask the neighbors. There's all kinds of ways to go about doing this. Every one of them is work, and a lot of it. But if you're able to do it, and you're able to get your access to a vacant, it's a gold mine. This guy took off. I mean, when he figured out how to do this, again, he was doing it in a manual way. His business exploded. He did deal after deal after deal, and he had zero competition along the way. Now, the big challenge for him was, as he says it, the big challenge was Chris. The paychecks were great, but there was no system. So this is a kind of a funny thing. He sent this to me. He's like, keep it simple. I was like, yeah, that's everything but simple, brother. I mean, there's nothing simple about that, right? As he says, I spent years digging, driving, and manually entering and update the data in Excel for hours every day to kind of locate locate it, narrow it down. Then I go drive and find it. Here's this version 3.0. See, he had no clue how to actually take it all together, narrow it all down, and then scale it. He didn't know how to automate it. You see, he cracked the code, but he was still in a very, very manual process. He needed help really bad if he wanted to really make it work. He reached out to me and put it all on the line. As I said, the guy came to my house in La Jolla, California, and he walked in and sat down, and he kind of pulled I'm not going to lie, he kind of pulled a quasi Shark Tank on me. I mean, the guy had spent $15,000 to spend 2 days with me at the time for some private coaching, and walked into my home, and within an hour told me that he wasn't there to be coached, he was there to pitch. He wanted to show me what he had done and see if there was a way we could do something together. I'm sitting there and I'm grilling out, and as he's going through it, I turned around and said, you seriously have this information? You seriously have cracked this? And at that point, I knew there was an opportunity here. You see, we started laying it out, laying out the issues. Is it possible to automate? Can it be done nationally? Can our servers actually handle this much data? I mean, this is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of rows of data when you play with it on a national level. He shared all his formulas, and we began building his formula into our highly, highly scalable model. And I don't mind telling you, victory. We've done it. What would take the average person countless weeks, days, or months to create was reduced to a few seconds. Now, I can tell you as a seasoned investor, this data was my own personal fantasy. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that we could actually do this. The best data in the world was now at my fingertips. Let me show you what I mean by that.
All right, so when you log into the system, you're going to come in here and you'll see right here at the top, find motivated seller leads. Now, depending on how you want to search, you can search by county, you can search by city, you can search by zip. For the sake of time here, I want to do just a smaller county in the United States. I've never actually even been there, but I want to make sure that we get quick results because I don't want to spend a bunch of time here with you. So I'm just going to select Delaware, Kent. If you have a large county like Los Angeles or New York or Detroit, it could take up to a couple minutes to get all the results back because we're searching through so much data. But here, Delaware, Kent, Delaware, right? You can see by default, it automatically has this vacant property checked because we know, again, that is a clear indication. That's why you're here. It's a clear indication of motivation. So that's always by default checked. You can uncheck it if you want to do other searches. But here we're telling you, show us every vacant property in Kent, Delaware. If I want to include the banks, I would just simply do that. Otherwise, it's just going to be direct sellers, as it says right here. If I want to just include properties that are almost owned free and clear or have 75% equity, meaning that 25% or less is owed on the property. $100,000 property, the owner owes $25,000 or less on that property. It's just that box right there. So that's a high equity property. So now it'd be high equity properties that are absolutely vacant. You can now see how that is a really unique list that is highly valuable because not only is it vacant, but they also have the opportunity to sell it to you at a discount. They don't owe anybody any money on it, right? Equally, other things that you can begin to filter that list down even further. You can say just those same properties, right? Vacant properties that have high equity where the owner lives out of the state and the owner has owned the property for 5 years or more, and the owner is over 50, and the owner is in financial distress. I mean, you can see how this gets really crazy when it gets down into the filter, and you can get laser focused on people that are absolutely in the right situation to sell you their property. So instead of you having to blanket and canvas an entire county or an entire state or send thousands and thousands of marketing pieces, you can just send a few hundred and get amazing results. That saves you a ton of money, and not to mention a ton of time. If you want to see just show me the properties that are in foreclosure, you can do it here. Go to advanced search filters down here. You can do commercial and residential. I mean, it's everything. So let's just uncheck commercial here and hit search. Okay, took what, maybe a little less than 10 seconds. Here we go. 361 properties return. These are residential type properties, as we said, 75 to 100% equity that are currently vacant in Kent, Delaware. 361 properties that are in the exact situation I want them to be in order to sell them. So instead of me having to market to 3,000 properties, I'm marketing to 300. This is, amazingly efficient when you get down to that. So you can see what it's done. This would have taken you weeks, if not months, to go and find 361 vacant properties in any county, much less this county. You just did it in 10 seconds. Now, coming back to it, we have the owner's, name here. I'm just scrolling down the owner's name, the owner's mailing address. You can see here's New Win Properties. They have a property that they own at 961 Forest Street, Dover, Delaware. It is currently vacant. This is their mailing address. This is the name of the LLC that owns it. They currently own 12 properties in our system. Again, what the criteria is, this current property is assessed at $21,000 and it was vacant as of October 2006. Here's one from Trevor, 920 South Governors Avenue. He's at 159 Alton Avenue, and this one's assessed at $46,000. Here's one, William, and this one's assessed at $160,000. So you can see the value of this, right? So if I want to market to these people and get these people, pick up the phone and call me, it's very simple. I can check all on the page like this, or I can just check one at a time if I want to market, and I hit print letters. So now what the system is going to go do is it's going to go create the marketing pieces for you. That fast. It just created 250 marketing pieces for you in less than 2 seconds. And so what it is doing is it has created a highly effective letter that basically says, hey, here's the owner of the property, here's the property you're trying to buy, and it does all the work in the marketing piece itself, right? But bottom line, you didn't have to do any of this. Now, you can see there's my information isn't actually in here yet, so because this is a demo account, if I go to update my info, which is you will do the same thing, and you'll just do this one time, the first time, you'll go in here and drop in all of your information, and then you will put in your logo, and then you'll put in your signature, and then you will be done. And this, whatever you want your salutation to be. And at that point, then it will be done for moving forward. It will always include your information. But if you watch right here on the greeting of this, I'm going to hit this next button over here. I know it's off the screen. You can't see it, but you can see how each one is changing. Each one is changing over and over. It created 250 letters in less than 2 seconds for me. So all I have to do now is go to print letters, this blue button at the top, and print envelopes, and I can stuff the envelopes and get them out myself. Or to make it even easier for you, we have actually included the direct mail house right here. So if you click this red button that says have your letters mailed for you, what is going to happen is you're immediately going to be connected with our third-party mail house. A gentleman by the name of Jeff Charlton, Graphic Creations out of St. Louis, Missouri, has been doing direct mail for my family and our company for I can't even tell you how long as I can remember. He is an amazing guy. He will do an amazing job for you. This is first-rate customer service, and that's why we partnered with them and have partnered with them for probably 7 years now. They've taken care of thousands and thousands of our clients and have mailed millions of pieces for us, so you're in very, very good hands. So he put together this entire page for you. Now, what has happened behind the scenes is all 250 of those letters were just sent to Jeff's servers, waiting for you. And he walks you through step by step. Here's what the letter's going to look like. Here's what the envelope's going to look like. Unless you want to actually mail it with this priority envelope, which we know gets a much higher open rate. So let's face it, in the direct mail game, if you don't open it, you don't read it. You don't read it, you don't get a deal. So the whole key here is get it opened. So this envelope we have tested over and over and over in our business, and it works at much, much higher response rate. So he tells you exactly how it's going to look here. You'll receive a proof via email in the next 1 to 2 business days. And you just order your mailing right here. You tell him, I want to do 1 mailing, 2 mailings, 3 mailings, or 6 mailings. We always order 6. You don't necessarily have to do that, right? If money's a little tight, but I can tell you, do not bother doing this unless you're going to do a minimum of 3. Direct mail does not work unless you do a minimum of 3, and ideally you're doing 6. That's just a fact of direct mail. It has nothing to do with us, has nothing to do with real estate. It just has to do with the laws of direct mail and why you and I continue to get that Bed Bath & Beyond 20% coupon in our mail each and every month for the last 10 years. Why? Because repetition is what makes direct mail work. So he knows it, I know it, so we make it really simple for you. Just go in there and say 6 mail drops, done. He's got your order number, you put in your credit card, boom, order it, you're out the door. You don't even have to worry about it anymore. So now we've made it ridiculously easy, right? I show you all the vacant properties. I allow you to use our letters. We put more letters in there each and every time. If you want to use additional letters, we go right here. You can see right up here at the top, you have multiple versions of motivated seller letters. Our best version is always at the top, but whatever you want to do, if you want to send a letter as a realtor from our realtor friends, okay, you do it, boom, the whole letter just changed. Now you're talking to this person as a realtor, trying to get a listing. So we can't make it any easier, including the done for you mailing as well. Now, one last feature, or 2 last features I want to show you as well. If you want to look at this on a map, you hit this button right here, and we'll show you the map view. Some people are just more visual. They know their area very well. They just want to see, hey, where are all the vacant properties? Let me zoom in on them. And I've never been to Dover, Delaware, but I got a really good idea of where all the vacants are now. And I can click on any of them and it'll just tell me and show me each one of them. You can see what we're doing here, right? And so very, very simple to figure out your farm area and do it. If you want to export this entire list to Excel, here's the little Excel logo. You hit that. Boom, you export it to Excel. It's never going to get any easier than this, guys. I mean, we've made it push button easy to get your phones ringing.
And as I showed you in the demo there, not only are we giving you the data, and not only are we giving you the letters, but all of the direct mail is done for you also, right? I mean, it's truly a revolutionary piece of software. Now, back to it. Minneapolis, 4,832 records. Phoenix, 17,513 vacants right now. Orlando, 8,164. Tampa Bay and surrounding areas, 6,483. Cleveland, 13,989. So back to Chris here. There was one thing that we needed to test. I wasn't comfortable going out to the world with it. I wanted to make sure that someone else could get these types of results. Someone with 0 real estate experience, 0 sales, and 0 money. So Chris brought a friend of his to us, a guy by the name of Corey Wilcox. And this guy came in, and over the next 8 months, with no money, absolutely no experience in real estate or sales, and never using his credit on any deal, Corey made over $130,000. Oh, and he took about 3 weeks of vacation, never putting in much more than 30 hours in any given week. Again, no experience, great results. This now proved beyond any shadow of a doubt that anyone could do this. And there's a copy of all the checks. All of this, again, working between 20 and 30 hours a week, some weeks less than 20 hours. And he made, over the course of 12 months, $200,000 from this one niche. Now, that is true automation. So we've begun using these systems, right? So we started using this in our own business each and every day, and I can tell you we have been seeing amazing, amazing results as well, each and every day in our own investing. So let me stop for a moment. Let me just kind of press pause, kind of take my breath here, because I've shown you everything, right? I've talked about the value of vacants, and I showed you how to access it. But I also want to separate fact from fiction here, because inevitably, when I do these types of presentations, which isn't that often, whenever I do them, we have a certain amount of naysayers that sit out there and say that just kind of sit in disbelief. Well, it is what it is, right? There's not much I can do about that outside of just you've got to prove it to yourself. One thing I can tell you that what this does for you is we are showing you a property that has been vacant, statistically speaking, for in excess of 60 days based on over 23 different data points. Now, as you can imagine, vacants are a fluid thing. If a property is rented, or if a property is sold, or if a property, whatever the case may be, people move in and out, and whatever happens, things can change in the matter of just days. We update this data every 2 weeks. Is it reasonable to assume that I will send you a list, or you will be able to see a list of 500 vacant properties? Is it reasonable to assume that a percentage of them are in some type of flux, and either somebody's moving out, somebody's moving in, The status is changing. Yes, it absolutely is. Is it reasonable to assume that when you mail these, that you will get a certain amount of returned mail? Yes. Why would you get returned mail? Nobody's there. It's vacant. There's a certain percentage of them where they didn't even forward the mailing address. That's how vacant it is. Does it make any of this any less valid? No. As an experienced real estate investor that's flipping 600 to 700 properties every single year and has for year after year, I can tell you this is one of the most valuable things you could ever do for your business. Finding vacant properties that have high equity with a number of different other filters that I just showed you allows you to play a completely different game, get laser focused in on that list and make really good marketing decisions. Is it 100% foolproof every single time? Absolutely not. Neither is Google. But yet it's become the staple. Anytime, any question, we always go to it, right? And somehow they get it right a lot more than they get it wrong. This is no different, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely your best option and best solution for creating really, really powerful marketing lists that will get your phone ringing in the matter of a few short days. And in fact, as I alluded to earlier, it's so powerful that we get hit with letters like this on a regular basis in my office. An institutional buyer wanting to buy the product and take it off the market, right there, a letter from a hedge fund that I just published for you. They want this data bad. But now it's your turn. You see, it all finally fits together. It's finally all in one place, right? We talked earlier. We've been able to figure out private money and cash buyers, and now it's motivated sellers. Again, the trifecta is complete. Many of you own our cash buyers and private lenders databases, and now it's your opportunity to own the motivated sellers as well. By adding the motivated sellers to your business, you finally have your biggest challenges solved. The competition killer is finally in the hands of the everyday investor, you and I. So instead of frustration, we get freedom. Instead of fighting over deals that pay you less than $1,000 because 12 other people are all competing over it, you get to create and dominate your own market. You just need to focus on vacants. It's that simple. We love to make it more complicated than that. We love to hear ourselves think about the what-if scenarios. The reality of it is this is the business. If you just focus on vacants, you can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 properties each and every month. And for many of you, that's all that is all that is required in order for you to make every one of your dreams come true as it relates to your business. Listen, there are over 2.2 million in this system right now. You can create advanced searches for high equity, out-of-state owners, and a ton of other scenarios that I just showed you, right? So let's talk for a second about what you would normally pay for data like this. In the example that I just showed you, for a similar search on melissadata.com, you can go search one zip, absentee owners, properties with equity, one search, one time. You cannot go look at the entire country like you can with our system. You cannot look at multiple zip codes. You cannot pull multiple lists. This is one zip code, one list, one time, 5,000 records. It's going to cost you $753.28. $753.28. Lead Source and some of our other competitors are about the same, right? So if you pull that one list, as any smart marketer would do, you pull it 12 times a year, once a month. $753 times 12, $9,039. Guys, that's, again, one zip code, one list, one time. With us, you have the entire country as many times as you want, with all of the done-for-you marketing that I have, and the built-in direct mail done for you, and the exclusive vacant property list not available anywhere else. I just showed you. We create this from the ground up. Chris Richter and I did this entire thing. This is not something we buy. It's not something we purchase. We make this happen right for you. So now you can easily find, easily market, and easily make money. Get your phone ringing once and for all with truly motivated sellers so you can finally start making some serious money in this business. All by simply being laser focused on your prime targets. When you do this, you're finally tipping the scales to your advantage. As I said, this webinar doesn't have to be long. Smart Money's already made the decision. You want in, right? I see the comments. I get it. This allows you to put yourself in a position to win, like thousands of other people all over the country. Let me just show you a couple of these real quick. Many of you are saying, hey, let's go. How do I get to it? Here, let me just show you real quick. Kent, when I first started using Find Motivated Sellers, I would see many people posting their success stories on this Facebook page about properties they got under contract. Today, it's my turn. I'm currently under contract to purchase a 23-unit apartment building. Here's one from Robert. He says, just sent 6,000 letters, just contracted for 145, sold it for 190, a $45,000 wholesale deal using Kent's system that made some great negotiated deal, closed. Here's September 4th. Someone sends in and says, Kent, let me just show you. We were in Utah. Upon my return, I had 2 wire transfers, one for $34,000, one for $12,850 on the 4th of September. I inked another $15,000 wholesale deal this week. Here's one from John for $18,000. Here's one from Paul. 3,200 letters I sent out last week. Last 7 days I received 194 phone calls, 117 leads, 48 offers submitted so far, and 7 have been accepted. Here's, what else we got here? Chris, I just picked up a property using the system, which has seriously kicked my wholesaling business in the rear, and it's a perfect fit for one of my buyers. Here's closed a virtual deal using an FMS in last week, sent out 1,900 postcards, received about 180 calls, put 2 houses under contract. I split a $5,000 wholesale fee already, making $2,500. Here's one, boom, from Hines. He says $10,000 deal closed today. Great Passover gift. Dave Brown, here's another $10,000 wholesale deal from Find Motivated Sellers. Now, not a bad month. One for $18,000 and another for $10,000. Here's one from Peter, closed a wholesale deal for $15,000. Here's one from Chantel. I'd like to congratulate Ruth Parker. You know, it's just happened. Ruth Parker for $50,000. Here's one for Isaac. When is that? July 11th, 2016. So a few months ago, $2,500. Here's one from a guy in my office that was talking to one of our clients. Johnny said, I just talked to a guy who closed $192,000 in deals in the last 15 months with just Find Motivated Sellers. He did 27 deals, 7,000 average, 1 deal for $35,000. Here's one from Patrick that I just pulled out of the private Facebook group. It says, hey, if anyone has any questions inwardly or more vocally, if the system works, please just simply trust that it does. I contracted 57 homes on 1 letter last year in a campaign in the DFW market, Dallas-Fort Worth, and we are nearing final disposition of the entire portfolio within the next few months. Trust the system and do the work to transform your business. Thank you, Kent, for challenging me and bringing focus to my business. So let's talk about it here, right? Let's talk about how to get involved. I know many of you are anxious. Find Motivated Sellers now. So when you purchase today, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get instant online access to this database. Now, this database is updated every 14 days. I just demoed it for you and showed you exactly what's in it, right? You get the vacant property database, that nationwide high equity free and clear. You get the foreclosure, you get everything we've got, it's in there, built automatically in for you. You get the state-of-the-art mapping features that I just showed you, the advanced search list building features, all of those new filters, all those things you can sit there and do with it, create your own list. You get the done-for-you marketing letters and direct mail. Again, as I showed you, not only can you just create your letters, but you can do a few mouse clicks and just have our third-party mail house, Graphic Connections, just mail it for you. Literally, in the next 30 minutes, you can be logging in, running your first searches, and have your first campaign out the door, 6 mailings done. I mean, it cannot get any easier than that. We're doing 99% of the heavy lifting here, right? Making your phone ring. It comes with 14 on-demand videos, unlimited customer support, free updates for life, and a private Facebook group. And you can only get access right here, right now, and like I said, potentially never again. You can get all of it for 3 payments of $795. Not that $9,000 that I just showed you that Melissa Data and others are out there charging each and every day for 1 list, 1 search, 1 time. You can get it all today, starting with 1 payment of $795, make another one in 30 days and a following in 60 days, and you'll own it outright. Again, not $9,000. You'll be able to do that when you go over to callwithkent.com. That is callwithkent.com. Now, I'll even waive the $97 a month for you forever. Yes, when you buy this, obviously there's a real cost with us going out there and updating this data each and every month for you and for thousands of other people now around the country. But I'll forego that fee. So just do the math here, right? $97 a month. Let's just call it $100 for amongst friends. $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year that I'm going to be saving you. Again, saving you thousands of dollars and hours and elevating your game, tipping the scales in your favor once and for all. And as I said, I'm going to waive the monthly fees forever. So lock in your membership right now when you go to callwithkent.com. That is callwithkent.com. You see it on your screen. You might even be able to click right below this presentation, depending on your browser, and it'll take you directly to a secure ordering page. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, Kent, why would this guy waive the monthly forever? Why would he just eat $1,200? And if when you guys are with us for 2 years, I've effectively eaten $2,400, 3 years, $3,600. Why would I be willing to do that? Here's what that's all about for me. Our mission in our company is very straightforward, very simple. It's clearly on every wall in here, right? The time is now. Wake them up. Make sure that people understand that they can actually do this. They can actually make money in real estate. This isn't some, push a button, just rain fairy dust down. It's none of that kind of stuff. This is a very, very straightforward business. We provide the leads, we provide the training, we provide everything you need to make it happen. And so in fitting with that mission, it is really, really important to me to empower people, because I also fully understand that it might be a little, let's just call it unrelatable when you get to the level that we're at now. Right now we're sitting here flipping 600-700 properties a year. Somebody is just getting started in the business. They're just trying to flip one. They're just trying to flip two. They're just trying to get to five. Just trying to make $100,000, much less $100,000 a month. And so I get it, right? We may not be relatable, but I can tell you there's thousands of people out there in the country right now that are using it every single day, that are part of that private Facebook group that you just saw. They are highly, highly relatable. And when people see real people doing it every single day, their videos, their checks, their pictures, and those posts, they see it every single day, it empowers them to keep going. So back to my original point. I ask one thing in return for waiving the monthly forever. I want you to do the same. I'm willing to walk away from it. I only ask one thing from you. I want you to go post your testimonial. That's the one commitment I need from you. You would do the same for me, so I just simply ask you to go post your testimonial on that private Facebook group to empower the community to keep pushing, keep going. Show somebody, give them the courage, give them the strength, show somebody that it is real. When you get your first check, doing the deals, when you're in and this goes for my seasoned pros as well. You're out there doing it every single day, and you just have never stopped to actually take a picture of a check or stop to take a picture of a HUD-1. I want you to do that, and I want you to go post it in that Facebook group. So again, in return for no monthly ever, I simply ask for your testimonial when you close your first deal using the product. So again, go use the product and tell the world about it. Again, you're getting everything today for 3 payments of $795 today and today only. You start with one payment today of $795. The next one will be due in 30 days, and the next one will be due in 30 days after that. So 60 days from today, you will own this completely outright. That does not inhibit your access whatsoever. You will get complete access immediately upon your first payment, and this is everything you're going to get. You're going to get instant online access to the database. You're going to get access to that private Facebook group that I just showed you, all the state-of-the-art mapping features, the advanced searching and list building features. I mean, you guys saw all the different filters on there. I mean, it's everything you could ever possibly want. You can basically create your own custom list in a matter of minutes. All that done for you marketing that I just showed you. All of our letters are built right in. So again, let me just do the math here. You have the biggest wholesaler in the country giving you his marketing pieces. You have the biggest wholesaler in the country that will actually handle the direct mail for you. Not going to get any easier than that. You're going to come with all the on-demand videos where we'll walk you through step by step what you need to be doing. You don't ever have to worry. We're going to hold you by the hand and show you what to do. It comes with unlimited customer support and free updates for life. So go right now. Get it right now at callwithkent.com. Again, it is 3 payments of $795, not the $9,000. You're getting everything that we just laid out there. It comes with our 30-day risk-free guarantee, and here's my promise. Real simple. You're going to get a username and password. In the next 5 minutes, you will get a username and password when you get signed up. You will immediately be able to access the databases and start looking unlimited. Run unlimited searches. Look all over the country. Do whatever you want to do, whether that's in your backyard, whether it's in California, New York, Florida. I don't care. Go find all the properties, right? You can refine the list down, and inside of, let's just call it an hour, you're going to have your first direct mail campaign ordered. Inside of an hour and 5 minutes, it will be ordered and off to the printer so that they will get it out the door. So literally, in the next 90 minutes from right now, you will have taken a monstrous step towards making your phones ring. And then you will effectively have 29 days and 23 hours, let's call it 22 and a half hours, to continue to evaluate this product. And I'm so confident in it that if for whatever reason you look up and inside of that 30-day window, it just doesn't make sense anymore. You know, something's changed in your life. You're moving in a different direction. You've got a medical emergency, whatever it is. You pick up the phone and call us, and we'll gladly refund your money. We stand behind it 100%, and we're very proud of that fact. There's a reason why we're considered the best in the business, and now you get a little glimpse of that right here. It also comes with unlimited customer support from our team. This, again, is what we are known for in the industry. We have a dedicated customer support staff that is here to do nothing but help you. They are not there to sell you. They are not allowed to offer you anything. The only thing that they are there to do is simply help. Whatever help looks like. There is no project that's too big, no project that's too small. Pick up the phone and call them, and they will do whatever they can to support you and get you on your way. They have one mission inside of this organization. Make it easy. Wake them up. Get them in the game. The time is now. Keep them moving. It's very, very straightforward for us. Again, so don't hesitate. Take action right now. Lock in that lifetime access. Like I said, those hedge funds are continuing to pound on us. I cannot tell you that they won't make me some ridiculous offer at sometime in the near future. Somebody walks in here with $100 million. Yeah, we would probably change our mind at that point and have to strongly consider selling this company and this software. But in the event that happens, you would be completely protected because you've locked in your lifetime membership. This is a no-brainer. You will never have to worry about leads ever again. But I will tell you, this offer is good today and today only when you go to callwithkent.com. Now, for those of you that have been on training calls like this before, at the risk of being a little cliche, I'm going to do something here just because, quite frankly, I can't think of a better way to do this. But I'm going to reward those people that are actually out there taking that big step, taking that leap of faith, going after it and chasing that dream and doing what they need to do to get involved and realizing that there's so much upside here. And, you know, it's a little scary, but they're willing to jump in. I am extremely empathetic with that feeling. And so I'm going to reward the first 20 people that do business with us today. So here's what I want you to do. First off, I want you to go and open up a new browser. Do not close this browser or else you'll be out of the presentation. So go up and open up a new browser and go to callwithkent.com and get ready to process your order, because I promise you I'm going to make this very, very simple for you to say yes here in the next, let's call it, 2 minutes. Now, back to why I'm doing this and why I feel strongly about rewarding people that kind of jump. Listen, I got started in this business back in 2002. And I was at a very, very desperate time. I was 32 years old. I had built a very, very successful company. The 7th largest privately held company in the state of Florida, $1.8 billion. From the time I was 17 till the time I was 30, building that company I lived for it. I was wildly, wildly successful. Millions and millions of dollars. It was beyond anything most of us would ever even imagine. That was my life, and I just did not know anything any different. As fate would have it, on March 14th of 2000, I walked out of that business. Quite frankly, I was a little pissed off. I got into an argument, and a rather heated argument with my partners, and just walked away. And took my $2 million in life savings and said, I'm going to go and turn around, and I'm going to go build a competitive business. I'm going to go toe-to-toe with these guys. We were in the grocery wholesaling industry, and I decided I was going to go toe-to-toe with them. And I began building a company out of spite, out of resentment, from a very, very bad place. And in fact, I just wanted them to regret that they'd ever let me walk out that door. And so as I started doing that, I started trying to steal their employees and recruit their employees, recruit their customers, just do things that are just bad business, quite frankly, and bad karma. And as fate would have it, it took them 22 months until they wiped me out completely. Fast forward to December of 2002. And I was a complete shell of myself. I had been in a 2-year downward spiral. I had lost everything at this point. I had gone through a divorce, had lost my business, had lost millions of dollars, was a failure in every sense of that word as far as I was concerned, was suicidal. I was in a really, really dark, bad place. And I had basically gone from having a couple $1 million in the bank down to $4,000 and had 2 now failed businesses to my record and was not feeling really good about life. So how does that bring me to real estate? Well, it was in that despair that my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, kind of rescued me. She pulled me up, put me, got me on my feet, and I watched a late night infomercial sitting right there on her couch of her 800 square foot apartment in Delray Beach, Florida. And the infomercial talked about, come on down to this real estate event. I went down, as many of you have. I went down, I watched, I got excited, and they were talking about wholesaling. Now, I had just come out of building a wholesaling business in groceries and had been very, very successful at it. So it didn't take me long to connect the dots and realize that, oh my gosh, I think I can do this. But that still did not keep me away from a place where I was scared to death. This guy was asking me to spend $1,000 on a wholesaling course. It was books and tapes. That's all it was. There was no live training. There was no software. There was nothing. It was a book and a CD. $1,000, and they were going to teach me how to go wholesale properties. Now, I'd never heard of anything like that, and it was very, very scary. Although I felt like I could do it, I was scared to death. I had $4,000 in the bank. And when you cut it, $1,000 is 25% of my net worth. But I did it. Walked to the back of the room. I signed up, and I hate to think of what my life would look like if I hadn't done that, because that was the very first step now of thousands of subsequent steps that have brought me here today with you. You see, I run an operation now that does millions and millions and millions of dollars and touches the lives of tens of thousands of our members and students and clients all over the world at this point. We have investors from all over the world buying our properties, 600-700 properties a year. We're managing 4,000 properties for 1,200 investors sitting in 37 states and 17 countries. I mean, but it all came from that one step. So back to my original point. I want to reward the people that are taking that first step, because I know where that can lead you. I know exactly what that looks like and where it can lead you. So I'm going to make this really, really easy. If you're one of the first 20, here's what I'm going to do for you. I mentioned earlier, Find Cash Buyers Now. We sell this product each and every day. It's a database that we update, just like you just saw the vacant property database. We update this every single month with all the cash buyers in the United States from public record. We validate them, verify them, get you their address, their phone number, how much they paid for property, what properties they bought, etc., all the way down the line. We sell this every day for $995 right on our website. We do the exact same thing with our Find Private Lenders Now database. We sell for $995 every single day on our website. It goes off and finds all the people that are acting like the bank in your backyard. These are not hard money lenders. These are not companies. These are people just like you and I that are savvy people, but they've figured out how to actually be the bank, and so they're earning money by loaning money. People, needless to say, as your business grows, people you want to know. Here's what I'm going to do for you. When you're one of the first 20, I'm going to add these two systems to your order right now at callwithkent.com. I'm going to give you $2,000 in software and training absolutely free. So now you will have the cash buyers, the private lenders, and the motivated sellers. This is what we call our smart bundle. Right now, you have them all three when you're one of the first 20. Now, I can tell you, if you tried to buy all three of these individually, just do simple math here, right? You would pay $4,000. If you called over to my office, we do have sales reps that are in our office, and they have a grid, and under certain circumstances, they are allowed to discount from time to time. The most they are ever allowed to discount ever, when they discount, is they are allowed to take it down to $2,697. So they're allowed to basically take, let's call it $1,300 off the price if somebody wanted to buy all three of these at one time. You are getting all three of these systems for your one-time risk-free investment of 3 payments of $795, saving you thousands and thousands of dollars. It's the best deal we've got going, period. We've made this as big a no-brainer as we possibly can. In fact, when you go over there, you will see that there are 2 payment options there, whichever works best for you. One is a 3-payment and one is a 1-pay. Or you can pick up the phone and call us at 888-411-1705, extension 703. That's 888-411-1705, extension 703. You can talk to Rita, Kelly, Pete, Eli. They are all there to absolutely help you. If you need multiple credit cards, whatever you need, pick up the phone and call them. They're going to do whatever they can. They have clear instructions. Do whatever you can to help. But for faster service, just go to callwithkent.com. If you're not one of the first 20, you're still getting a smoking deal, right? You're getting all the leads you'll ever need for motivated sellers for the rest of your life for this, right? This was a great deal before. All this does is just make it easier. So go now. Make sure you're one of the first 20. But if you're not, you'll clearly see on the page it will not have the cash buyers and private lenders included. But if you go right now, what you're going to see is that you're going to get The Motivated Sellers database for $19.95. The Cash Buyer database that we sell at $9.95. The Private Lender database that we sell at $9.95. The Done For You letters and the Done For You direct mail. 24 on-demand videos, because we're now adding the videos from the other two systems as well, so it's no longer 14. We just added another 10 videos. 2 home study courses we're adding to this. This is Cash Buyers and Private Lenders. Again, unlimited customer support. Again, the free updates for life to the software as we make new filters available, as we make these new changes. We just did a brand new release in July of this year that completely added a whole new set of filters to the system. You're going to get that for life. You'll never have to pay for it. We're going to waive the monthly forever, and it comes with that 30-day money-back guarantee. You add all that up, it's $8,134. Again, you're getting it all for 3 payments of $795. All you will pay is 1 payment today of $795 when you go to callwithkent.com. Now, one last thing I'm going to do here, because I know I still have a couple people that are still trying to figure out, man, I'm scared to death. This guy seems like the right guy. He's saying all the right things. I like the fact that it's a family-run business. I love the fact that they're in multiple markets. I love the fact that he's actually doing the business. I get that he's automated all this stuff. All of this makes sense, but I just can't figure out, I'm still a little scared. Okay, here you go. Last thing I'll do for you. These are for my last fence sitters here, right? I'm going to talk to you real quick about how to get this actually for free. So if you've stuck around to this point, I'm talking to you specifically. Here you go. Number 1. You purchase the software. Everything starts with that purchase. You purchase the software. Number 2, and this is shocking, I know, but you actually use it. Send the campaigns. Do exactly what we instruct you to do in the videos. Get out there, mail the campaigns, get it done. If it scares you, then it's good, and you're supposed to do it. That's how you get in the game. That's how, money loves speed. So there's a great, great lesson right here. Money loves speed. Go, 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 go. Now, go as fast as you can. Now, do a deal, right? So why else would you buy this unless you were actually intending on doing a deal? So here's what I'll tell you. Just do what you're already intending to do by buying the software. Do it anytime in the next 365 days. And if you do that, when you do that, you turn around and send me a video testimonial. Hey, Kent, just want to let you know, this is Bob. I just used the software. It was amazing. It's great. I loved it. Or this is Nancy, and I just used the software, Kent. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Here's a copy of my check. Here's a copy of the property, whatever. You send it all over. We're going to send you a little bit of paperwork, basically authorizing us to use it, and some stuff that we have to do in order to legally be able to use that as a testimonial. We have to validate the transaction, get a copy of the HUD, and all that kind of good stuff. Once we got it all buttoned up nice and tight, cross the T's, dot the I's, make sure everybody's covered, boom, I'll turn around and give you all your money back. Everything you paid us for the software, I will turn around and send you all of it. So you will effectively have gotten the entire thing for free for doing nothing more but just using your purchase. Now, I can tell you, you don't go off and buy a car and they turn around and give you all your money back just for driving it. You don't buy a house and they turn around and just give you your money back just for living in it. You don't buy anything, your clothes, anything today, and they turn around and give you the money just for using the very product and service that you signed up for. But that's exactly what I'm offering you right now. For my seasoned pros, this makes this truly a no-brainer. If you're doing any deals right now, literally, if you're doing any deals right now, this just makes it ridiculously easy to say yes to. Because just do a deal using our system, and then you'll get it for free. You'll never have to worry about leads ever again. Go to callwithkent.com, get signed up. When you go over to callwithkent.com, you will see, again, there are 2 payment options. You have one that is 3 payments of $795, which we've talked about extensively here. There's also a payment where if you just go ahead and make 1 payment of $1,995, this is going to save you an additional $400. Guys, I mean, as I told you, this is $4,000 worth of software and systems at retail right now. When you add everything else in, it's up to $8,000 with all the training courses and everything else we're throwing in here. You're getting it for $2,000 or 3 payments of $795. This is really, really simple to say yes to. I don't want you to miss out on it. Or you can just simply call 888-411-1705, extension 703, and ask for Rita, or ask for Kelly, ask for Pete, ask for Nancy, ask for Eli, whoever. They will gladly sit down and talk to you, get you signed up, and get you going. Or just go to callwithkent.com and get signed up. As always, I am I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me today. I'm always honored and humbled by how many of you just sit here and spend time with us and learn from us and continue to give us all the positive feedback and the positive energy our way, telling us how much you enjoy these trainings and telling us how much you enjoy our system. It means a lot to us, it means a lot to me, my family, our entire organization. It's kind of the fuel that keeps us going each and every day. So I don't want you to think for a minute that it goes unnoticed. It certainly does not. With that, I'll tell you again, thank you guys very much. Callwithkent.com. I appreciate you. Until I see you soon, take care.